Right on the heels of the State of the Word by Matt Mullenweg, we have State of the Enterprise by WordPress VIP agency, essentially a survey showing a lot of great information about how WordPress is being used by enterprise companies. Also, speaking of the State of the Word, Matt Mullenweg didn't disappoint, and there's lots of good updates. Also, the 6.5 roadmap just got released. We should check out what's coming into that. Finally, Black Friday and Cyber Monday wrapped up, and a couple plugin authors are showing how their sales did. It's really good data to compare and contrast with. There's lots of great WordPress news this week, so let's get into it. All right, hey guys, let's kick it off today with the State of Enterprise WordPress survey. This was just released by an agency, a WordPress VIP agency called Big Byte. And it's really well done. If you go to soewp.com, you'll be able to see what we're looking at right here. But essentially what they did is they surveyed 100 enterprise brands across the world, mainly in North America, Europe, it looks like. You can see some of the geography here, some of the industry sectors, very high on publishing here. There's some marketing, technology, and nonprofits, but you can see this agency, Big Byte, must have do a lot of work with publishers. Some of the more interesting data here is, how do they use WordPress? So are they using it as a headless CMS? I imagine in the publishing space, quite a few are. This says around 28% are. How long has the organization used WordPress? Over 5 years, 59%. Right here is an interesting which WordPress editor to use. Do you use the classic editor or Gutenberg or AKA the block editor? And it's good to see that a lot of folks are using the block editor. Basically, the gist of this survey is really reinforcing the direction WordPress has taken in the last 5 to 7 years with Gutenberg, with React, with a lot of moving away from PHP more on the front end, with a lot of heavy use of that React and our own flavor of it with our various APIs. But you can see here that overwhelmingly people are very satisfied. If you scroll down to this section right here, looking ahead, do you foresee that your organization will continue to use WordPress? Yes, we're happy with the platform. Love to see that. That's 91%. So that's a pretty good ratio from 100. 91 out of 100 said yes, they are happy with it. How likely is that would you recommend WordPress to other enterprise organizations? Overwhelmingly 8 and above, very few below 6. So that's to me C average and higher. This is at least A B club here, so that's awesome. I'm gonna let you dig into this. It's not too hard to review. There's lots of good information here, but if you read through it, it flows nicely. And what could this do for you as a freelancer, a micro agency? Maybe you already work with enterprises. You want to compare how you're working with them, or maybe you want to get into working with WordPress or with enterprises. Maybe you want to become a WordPress VIP agency. This data and the thought and the analysis, the presentation around it, it's really good information to have. So I think it was worth a share, and definitely check it out. Link in the description below. All right, next up we have the State of the Word, which happened on Monday this week in Madrid, Spain. And this is one of the more newsworthy items happening this year. Essentially find out all the what accomplishments we had this year, what was coming next year. If you don't have the whole hour to watch the main session, the QA ran around 20-30 minutes as well. So in total with the main session and the QA, you're looking about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. I boiled down the main session to 10 minutes. You can watch it. That's what's showing on this screen here. But essentially, we go into a lot of what's happening, what's cool, and the different sections from the community update, how many WordCamps happen, what the WordPress playground is, how you can have live previews of your plugins in the future, how you can utilize the playground, spin up WordPress in your browser really quickly. 2024, everybody's loving 2024. What's going on with multi-collab in the block editor, and how there was a little demo showing how you can switch in between how two editors can be working on the same content at the same time and seeing those updates live between their browsers. Really neat stuff. Workflows and patterns, basically reusing essential blocks, or reusing patterns, essentially allowing content to be updated in individual blocks, but controlling the design across your site. Really powerful stuff. A new interactivity API showing like a Netflix style preview. Data liberation. This is one of the more neat things that happen. Essentially allowing you to port between Squarespace, Wix to WordPress, WordPress to WordPress more easily using a really well done plugin. How many shops can we get from Shopify over to WooCommerce with a tool that works really well? The State of the Word WordPress.org did a recap of the State of the Word, and they also talk about some of these big items that were revealed or talked about during it. Joseph also did an introduction. Matthias got on stage. I highly recommend, if you only have 10 minutes, check out the video I did. But if you have the full hour and a half, you do something with WordPress, you make your business off of WordPress, you need to watch the State of the Word. WordCamp US is also coming up in Portland. That was revealed as well. And one of the big things that I want to highlight here is the WordPress admin, the WP admin, the UI you see and list tables and everything. That got a little demo as well. And I saw a really thoughtful post from Tom McFarlane talking a bit about how, we got to be really careful about this. Some people are resistant with Gutenberg still, but I think a lot of people were seeing the light. Just as we saw the State of Enterprise, people are really liking it. It's starting to mature. I think the same thing is going to happen with the admin redesign, especially if they decide to do this like sliding drawer type of functionality. But it's pretty neat what they're doing, and I highly suggest you check out this post by Tom McFarlane if you have 5 minutes. It's a really quick read, and basically if you want to dig deeper into the admin redesign, there's this post back from July where they're talking about the introduction. It showcases some of the sliding panel on the left. If you've used full site editing, it's similar to how that UI works, so imagine that. But it's really important part of the State of the Word. So check out the recap, check out Tom's thoughts on it, and I definitely think it's worth your attention. So if you haven't yet, check it out. All right, everybody loves to hear what's coming out in upcoming releases, right? So we got two cool releases coming out. We have WordPress 6.5. We have our roadmap to 6.5 here. This was posted a little less than a week ago, actually, and talks about, hey, we're getting the interactivity API. We are getting the font, what are they calling it? Font library. Yes, that's right. Showcasing some demos of what that's going to look like. What I didn't mention when I was just talking about the State of the Word is the custom fields API and how that's coming along. We're going to get not like a full-fledged, full-on ACF competitor, advanced custom fields, but we're going to get incremental improvements. So there's lots of good information on the GitHub ticket. You can see that each of these items have a tracking issue for it, so you can read more into that. This is a really important post to understand what's coming out in WordPress 6.5. We're also going to see rollbacks for plugins and theme updates for automatic updates. So if a plugin or theme has a fatal error, it'll automatically roll it back for you. That's really cool. Get out of jail free card coming into WordPress core. So lots of good stuff on this. I highly suggest you check it out. While we're talking about releases, Kadence is one of the more popular themes out there and also has a block library, a bunch of other tools around it as well. I am part of the Stellar WP team. I help manage this product, but essentially the geniuses behind it, it's the entire Kadence development team led by Ben Rittner, and Kadence AI is next level stuff, and it is a competitor to Zip WP. I highly suggest you check it out. It is a closed off pre-release right now, but expect this coming in January. And what a beautiful page we have here demonstrating what's coming out here. So if you're into AI and putting patterns and blocks together using AI, And so basically think about starter templates that can be much more custom tailored to whatever business you're looking for. If you've ever used or seen Zip WP, imagine that, but a little more granular with Kadence AI. I know Zip's coming along really fast as well, but Kadence is really taking some different approaches and some similar approaches as well. So definitely check that out, and watch for that coming in January. All right, let's wrap up this week with some bookmarkable tweets. First up, we have Zoran Ugrina with some WordPress block development resources. First goes into the official documentation, talks about full site editing. So if you want to know anything about how to build on Gutenberg, the block editor, whether it's full site editing, you want a custom block for publishing or for building a site, this is a great thread for getting started. There's some video tutorials in here. There's some premium course that you can go after if that's what you're looking for. Some articles, some videos. And this is kind of how I learned too. One tool that is not mentioned here is ChatGPT with the block editor handbook. I covered that in a previous episode, but I'll link below if you're interested in that as well. I find using ChatGPT that's trained on the block editor handbook is really useful as well. So that's Zoran's post on the block editor. Let's jump to Black Friday, Cyber Monday results. So this tweet from Katie Keith, she runs Barn2 plugins, primarily WooCommerce extensions, but goes into total monthly revenue, full on numbers and everything, very transparent here. Essentially what the year-over-year increase was. Again, just like the enterprise for WordPress survey that we went over before. Having this data is super useful to have if you're running any sort of business. How's your software selling compared to this? If you're selling WordPress software, if you're not comfortable sharing your own numbers, hey, if others are going to do it, then I say let's use that data the best we can. So first we have her data. She did awesome, by the way, so congratulations. This has over 72 likes, almost 7,000 views. Xavier, or I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but he runs a plugin called Mailster, and he did a similar post showing what the discount was, 50% discount, how he did year over year as well, where are the types of regions where he sold the most. So again, great screenshots of good data. If you have a marketing department, if you are the marketing department, please use this data. So these are the 3 tweets that I saw that I bookmarked in the last week. Hopefully you find some more information on that. If you have a good tweet and you want to share, hit me up in the comments below. But that's a wrap for this week. Cool. Thanks. Well, I hope you enjoyed the news this week. There was lots of great stuff from the state of the enterprise to the state of the word to Kadence AI. And finally, the 6.5 release roadmap and a couple good tweets in there. If you like the content you see, make sure you subscribe below, and I'll see you next week for another weekly roundup.